Now,
It's Eddie Izzard.
now you said actor. Have you thought about like venturing out into? I know you've done the stand up or attempted it and thought no, can't. Have you attempted acting or?
Now, yeah, because of the world of burlesque and being comfortable, finding my voice and my character, and just being able to be comfortable in my own skin. Through here, opportunities have arose where I've done, little short films. I've done music videos. I've helped produce music videos for people. I've, definitely a good friend of mine and several friends of mine did the Against the Odds TV series locally, and I was a character in that for them, a returning character. So that was lots of lines in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's
was that something you would want to do more of?
Oh, of course, yeah. I love it.
Very nice. Do you have anything coming up, or is it still like wide open?
I'm pretty wide open.
Okay, because I'm assuming that anybody listening would be like, well,
yeah, no, I'm wide open.
Okay, perfect.
Well, not for any film, because again, sometimes the weirdos come out and
yes,
this idea for you. She puts the lotion. It's like, no, I'm good.
Right. Yeah, no, this one's it's like a artistic kind of naked.
Yeah,
you'll understand. Just
I've had some of the weirdest photographers. I've got more weirdos in the photography world, far more than the burlesque world. Oh,
really?
God, yeah. Like I said, the burlesque community is extremely supportive.
Yeah.
And we're very protective of each other. And the majority of the guests that come to our show are in that same kind of, it's a very protective, fun bubble. The modeling world is a lot different. And I would be a lot more cautious of having 18-year-old girls get involved in the modeling world.
Okay.
And that scene.
Right.
I'm a lot more mama bear in that than inside the burlesque community because all of us are so supportive within that. But the models and photographer world is scary.
It gets
scary
dark.
business.
Well, in that respect, as a parent, again, like I would hope that there were more people like you involved in that aspect, like the den mother. If I couldn't be there for everything, that there's somebody else going, don't worry, I've got our baby. Yeah.
Any particular shoot that ever happens inside the studio, if it's a implied nude, boudoir, anything along those lines, I am always at least in the building.
Okay. Very nice.
If not present on the shoot.
Yeah.
Unless the model's like, no, we've worked together 1,000 times. I'm totally comfortable. This is no big deal.
Absolutely.
Model's discretion.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we have, like, say, open houses and stuff, or we have a model collective here where we've kind of, photographers don't know how to find models, so we've kind of hooked them up, and we have, group shoots here. So anything along those lines, no, I am right there.
Very nice. So you kind of, it's all inclusive. You act as a Rolodex. Also, not just a place to go.
Oh, yeah. No, we try to, like I said, we're facilitators here.
Very
we
nice.
want people to, like, if you've got an idea, we want to be able to help you create it in any way, shape, or form that we can for you.
Very cool.
Depending on what exactly.
Right.
We have our moral standards.
Exactly. But that's the thing. There should be limits.
Yes.
Especially
in this world.
Current climate. Yes.
Yes.
And I guess what's funny to me is that there are people still that are unaware of like their limitations. Like, what do you mean I can't do this? Like,
it doesn't surprise me the level of ignorance that exists out there.
Sad but
true.
You
work in retail. You learn that very fast.
Oh man, so quick. Yeah.
Food and beverage is another one. You work with the public. You learn very fast that this is a lot of really thin gene pools.
Oh yeah, no, so bad. And you, like, my retinas should have obliterated by now by how many times my eyes have rolled back. That why is that still okay? Why is this still going on? You hear all the stories in the news now. It's like, what do you mean you didn't know that you couldn't, like, lick this poor woman? Just met her.
There was the one time at the bar, and granted, unfortunately, it happens all the time, but this particular phrase stuck out to me because I wasn't really offended. I was more shocked that it was just like, you felt that was okay to say.
Right.
And this guy said, hey, don't take this offensively, but I want to hate fuck your face.
Oh, well.
And I was just, what?
Right.
You're not getting a drink now.
Right.
I'm just going to move along.
Right. If you're this way.
Unfortunately, it's like I should be offended. That's a very offensive thing to say, but in the world that we live in, it's just like, it just kind of, I'm not even surprised that there are people like you out there.
Well,
good luck with that, sir.
Yeah. Enjoy the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope someone comes up bigger than you wants to hate fuck your face.
I hope that you're on the receiving end of your threat. And ultimately, that is a threat. That's not a let's shake hands.
That's super offensive.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And like I said, it's the fact that I can casually just kind of let that like roll off of me.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming most women can kind of attest to it, especially ones that are listening or whatever. Like, it happens so frequently that you do just kind of become callous to just over sexual ignorance.
Right. And that's the sad truth is like, you shouldn't be used to that. Oh yeah, don't worry. I've been stabbed a bunch. Like, I've been talked to like that a bunch. That should never.
Right.
That's the same thing.
That shouldn't be a norm.
Right.
But
but oh my God. And that scares the shit out of me. I've got a 17-year-old who's getting ready to go out into the world, and in less than a year, I've basically got to go, all right, I've raised him up to this point. Let's see if any
good luck.
Let's see if any of the good stuff I taught him sticks. But at the same time, knowing that he's not only possibly going to be, he has the opportunity and the choice to be a victim or, an oppressor, basically. It's like, come on, man. Like,
I'm rolling the dice here.
Right. All my money's on you. Just be a decent person.
Just be, a good dude.
Yeah. And so knowing that there's more people out in the world that are like, hey, you may not be a good person now, but I'm definitely here to assist you in getting there. It makes me feel better as a parent, because there are so many stories right now floating around of people that are like, oh, you're naive and young and dumb? Come with me. I'll show you how to possibly get killed or get taken advantage of. So,
I think that's where I'm kind of like very much so an open book now. Like, I don't put a lot of my stuff out on Facebook, because I use it more as like a business platform. I don't put my personal life out there. Yeah. But again, I'm an open book. You asked me a question, I'm gonna say it very honestly, because I know what I've learned from other people's stories and their life experiences. Whether I take them with a grain of salt or not, there's at least a fraction of what they're telling me I can learn something from. Yeah. And so if there's just a fraction of something that I've learned from, that's something somebody could take away from it, whether they're 18 or 82, we're all kind of put on this planet to help each other, whether we want to believe it or not. Right. So the more we can get back to the community basis of, it takes a village kind of mentality, I think we'd all be better off. Right.
I think the one thing that keeps coming back around is this idea that, oh, I don't like this person, I want them to fail. But if there's all these people behind them, or like if they fail, then all these people pay.
It's the butterfly effect.
Yeah, it's a six-head circle, and it scares the shit out of me.
And I'm still a cynic, and I'm still an asshole sometimes,
but
I'm a realist within it too.
Yeah.
It's like, I may talk shit, but if you are truly in trouble, I will give you the shit off my back, kind of thing. Yeah. And I feel like most people are like that,
or should be,
and we forget at time to time, or people are too scared because they're concerned that their neighbor is going to do something bad instead of trusting in the fact that your neighbor should be doing something good.
Absolutely. Well,
it's a sad world we live in, though.
Right. And the whole idea behind this podcast was I wanted a reason to get out and interview people that I thoroughly enjoyed. And I like the product that you guys put out with Burlesque and the shows that you put out with just everybody involved, a little bit of everything. And anytime you and I talked before this, I always thought, oh, she seems interesting. I'd like to get to know more about her, and finding out how involved you are with burlesque and your past and stuff like that, and how you're taking what you've been through and kind of maneuvering your ship down the road. Like, that does not define you. I thoroughly appreciate that, respect that, and say good to you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was difficult. That was, I guess, one of the biggest hurdles. That was the most beneficial hurdle, is realizing that the person that I thought I was stuck being
was all you were going to be.
Was all I was ever going to be able to achieve.
Yeah.
I was so caught up in, well, I'm never going to be better than who I am right now. So what's the point of even trying?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people do that.
And I actually started trying. I realized that I could be so much better than what I ever thought possible.
Yeah.
And then all these other amazing things start arising, and then you realize that your life can be as awesome and as wonderful as you make it.
Right.
But you have to make it.
Exactly.
It's not going to be handed to you.
Right. And I think everybody's been through either that or something similar to that, where they think, oh, this is as good as it's going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Complacent.
Yeah, exactly. You really do have to, in order for something to change, you have to go out and seek it rather than sit on the couch.
It's work.
Any moment now, things are going to get better.
That's silver platter is going to win the lottery.
Right.
No, you make your lottery.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And in today's age, like, a lot of people are still finding that out. Mm-hmm. Sad to say. I turned 31 at the end of this month, and still seeing that people my age haven't figured that out, or even had the inkling of, wait a minute, I can do something else other than be the dickhead that I've been. It's still kind of, it's baffling.
I don't have to be stuck being this.
Yeah. And I don't know. I appreciate anybody that's willing to stick their neck out for somebody else and say, come on, this is bullshit. Let's get out of here. So thank you for that. Having a
took me a long time to realize that he doesn't pick my battles.
But still, the fact that you figured that out is more than some people get in 40, 50 years, 60 years on this world.
Ever.
So, exactly. There's people that go from the cradle to the grave not figuring out how to get their head out of their ass. Yeah. So, and somebody that has a young daughter, and I guess my wife kind of ingrained this fear in my head that, having a girl is going to be like 100 times harder than having a boy or having a dog, and we have to be on the lookout for this and that and everything else. Kind of before the daughter came around, I was like, it's gonna be another kid. Like, we can do this. But as soon as I saw her face, I was like, I'm fucked. Like, I'm going to lose my mind trying to make sure that the world is ready for her and vice versa.
How old is she?
She just turned 1 in January.
So real tiny.
Yeah, she's super tiny, and not just age wise, but my son.
So ideally, how we're getting now, the world would be a better place when she
comes around. I hope, and not just for her sake, but
everybody's sake.
Yeah, for everybody's sake, my son's sake, my stepson's sake. He's less than a year out before it's like, all right, enjoy the sidewalk, So I don't know, just the fear that came with having the son is like, all right, time to step up and be dad. But then daughter comes around, and it's exactly what she said. It magnified by 100. It's like I have to make sure that she still has, by the time she leaves my house, she still has an open mind and is willing to take everything in. But at the same time, that she has kind of like that exterior where she can brush off the bullshit. I don't
soft armor.
Right. I don't want her to have to endure the guys walking up and say, don't take any offense to this, but
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna happen.
And in the back of my head, I know it's gonna happen. And for those guys' sakes, for their sake, I hope that I'm nowhere in earshot. But at the same time, I want to raise my daughter and my son both in the same manner that if they hear something like that they can have the nerve to like brush it off and keep moving.
Somebody around, including her, goes, no, that is not appropriate.
Exactly.
You don't treat anybody of that nature.
Yeah.
They're
And
not, just an item. And it's weird because in burlesque, I do tell people, in modeling too, you are a product. But within that, it's a little, you have to have respect for products.
Yeah.
You're essentially merchandise, when you want to become a model.
Right.
So, but that doesn't mean that human beings should be treated like property.
Right.
So there's this